Welcome back. Today in this explainer, we're looking at a crisis that's honestly as urgent as it is devastating. The intense, absolutely unprecedented 2026 European wildfires. Now, the situation on the ground across France and Spain right now, it's been catastrophic. But we aren't just going to sit here and look at the destruction. We're going to really break down the exact science and those changing meteorological mechanics behind why Europe's wildfires are increasing at such a terrifying rate. We're going to take all that abstract science and anchor it right into the sensory reality of what is literally happening on the ground. So, let's get started.
Imagine you're just sitting in your suburban apartment in the middle of the day, right? And suddenly, the sky turns pitch black. An acrid, bitter burning smell just completely fills your lungs. Well, that is exactly what happened to Nasir and his wife Krishma. They're residents of Bordeaux, France. Nasir described looking up and realizing that the darkness covering the sun wasn't some natural cloud. No, it was a massive, suffocating blanket of wood smoke. The reality of this science is incredibly human. Nasir and his wife were just two of the staggering 220,000 people who were ordered to flee their homes in the Gironde region, which made it one of the largest evacuations in modern French history.
And to truly grasp the macro-level impact across the continent, consider this staggering figure, 170,000. That right there represents the hectares of forest land burned in Spain alone since the start of 2026. To put that into perspective for you, that is a nearly six-fold increase compared to the exact same period in the previous year. So we aren't just seeing a bad fire season here. We're looking at an exponential explosion in scorched earth.
Section 1. The 2026 Wildfire Crisis.
The devastation we're examining is frankly entirely record-breaking. In Gironde, France, the fire tore through 42,000 hectares. Think about that. That's an area 4 times the size of Paris. And over in Spain, in the hilly terrain of Avila, a fire consumed 50,000 hectares, making it Spain's largest fire on record. But you know what's truly chilling here? It's the unpredictable nature of these infernos. Regional officials, like Sophie Brocas, she's the prefect in the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region, have stated that these massive fires are unlike anything they've ever seen, because they're basically following their own logic. They aren't following any known historical patterns. And because of this wild unpredictability, firefighters are being forced to constantly adapt on the fly, just to save lives, as the fire shifts and evolves in real time.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 2. The whiplash effect.
So climate scientist Matthew Jones from the University of East Anglia calls this the whiplash effect, and it brilliantly lays out exactly how the land is naturally prepped for disaster. It's kind of like a recipe. Step 1, you have an unusually wet winter and spring, and that causes a massive buildup of dense vegetation. Step 2, extreme summer heat arrives and completely parches all of that new growth, which leads to Step 3, you are left with a massive continental-scale tinderbox. The weather has effectively built the absolute perfect campfire, and is just sitting there waiting for a single spark.
And when that spark happens under these prime conditions, well, we get a fire wave. This term was coined by Professor Guillermo Rain of Imperial College London, and it's basically the wildfire equivalent of a heat wave. Professor Rain points out an important distinction. It isn't necessarily that Europe is seeing an unprecedented number of total fires, but rather an uncommon number of truly destructive fires. When prolonged, hot, dry weather bakes that whiplash vegetation we just talked about, any ignition rapidly escalates into a blaze so fierce it completely overwhelms city, regional, and national emergency responses.
Now let's move to the next terrifying layer of this crisis. Section 3. Weather born from fire.
Enter the pyrocumulonimbus, otherwise known as the fire cloud. These are ominous, towering thunderstorms created entirely by the extreme heat of the wildfires themselves. French researcher Jean-Baptiste Philippe points out that, while firefighters in places like Australia or California might be pretty used to these by now, this phenomenon is completely new to France. These fire clouds actually suck in air and generate their own highly erratic winds, and they can even produce lightning strikes that spark fresh fires miles and miles away. So firefighters are no longer just fighting the flames on the ground, they are literally fighting an unpredictable weather system born directly from the fire itself.
And this brilliantly illustrates the danger. The sheer, mathematical reality of what emergency crews are facing is staggering. In a recent deadly fire in southern Spain, the wildfire tore through the landscape at a speed of 6 kilometers per hour. But firefighters, battling through difficult terrain with all their heavy equipment, well, they can only push back at a speed of about 300 meters per hour. Think about that math. The fire is moving 20 times faster than the human response can handle. It's a literal race against time, and the flames have a massive head start.
Now let's zoom out to the macro level. Section 4. The climate connection.
Dr. Theodore Keeping, who is an expert in extreme weather and wildfires at Imperial College London, notes that while, yes, fires do need vegetation and an ignition source, the overarching driver of this extreme behavior is the hot and dry summer weather. And as Dr. Keeping explains, climate change is the engine making these consecutive hot, windy days much more likely and significantly more intense. It provides the essential foundation that allows these blazes to grow until they form those massive pyrocumulonimbus storms we just talked about.
So the crucial point is this, and the context comes courtesy of climate scientist Vicky Thompson from the University of Edinburgh. Europe is the fastest warming continent on Earth. It's heating at roughly double the global average. We know definitively that this rapid heating is caused by fossil fuel burning. And as Thompson points out, a rapid phase out of fossil fuels is absolutely critical if we want to avoid pushing these temperatures even higher and basically making these unmanageable fire conditions the absolute standard every single summer.
We conclude our expert analysis with a really sobering observation from Matthew Jones. He notes that the impacts of a changing climate are no longer just some hypothetical future threat that we can kick down the road. They're already here. This is the cost of inaction. And that cost is being measured right now, today, in the hundreds of thousands of people forced to evacuate their homes, in the tragic loss of life, and in severe economic disruptions, like the massive hit to the tourism and wine industries currently being felt around Bordeaux.
But a crucial question remains. EU officials, including the Commissioner for Crisis Response, are actively warning that because of these extreme warming conditions, this year's record-breaking wildfires could keep burning all the way into early November. The traditional fire season has completely expanded. So, consider the evidence we've covered in this explainer today: the whiplash effect, the fire clouds, the sheer terrifying speed of the flames. If this multi-season continent-spanning fire wave is truly the new normal, are we actually ready for it? I want to leave you to let that sink in. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time.